This program is brought to you by ABBA Claims Consultants. Chess is the owner and a licensed public adjuster and appraiser. You can find more information about ABBA Claims by visiting www.abbaclaims.com. That's www.abbaclaims.com.
Chess Bostick has spent the last 23 years as an insurance adjuster. His mantra has always been, by putting God first, being in a state of appreciation, and leading by example, everyone around him grows. In this show, Chess will share his journey and conduct dynamic interviews with entrepreneurs about their passions and what makes them tick. Welcome to First Things First with Chess Bostick.
Hey everybody, welcome to First Things First. You're here, my friends, because you believe that you are the most important person in your life. You're interested in putting yourself first and getting better. It's our goal with this show to introduce you to the movers and shakers out there, entrepreneurs that are kicking butt and taking names, all the folks that truly motivate us. But there's one catch. We're not going to be talking too much about the hard-working, clean living stuff. No pain, no gain. Times are changing. We're going to hear about the behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm going to encourage our guests to speak from the heart, share their inside stories about themselves, and really reveal what makes them tick. All right, today's guests are a husband and wife team. Both are entrepreneurs running a very successful company called RKG Restoration in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. More importantly, they are touching lives. Welcome. This is Robby and Kimba Garcia.
Thank you so much for having us, Chess.
Sure.
We're excited to be here.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. This is the first time through this.
I mean, this is my first time on a podcast ever, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be
We'll
fun.
all get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, you guys are doing a great job, and what you're doing with RKG Construction Restoration is really impressive. Tell us about your company a little bit.
Well, we have three different sides. We have RKG Restorations, where we do our fire and flood claims. We have RKG Roofing and Construction, where we do roof cells. Everybody loves roofs. And then we have RKG Renovations, where we have our construction side, where we do our full remodels.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Let me ask you a question. Going way back, starting back, what were you doing before you ever got into the construction business? What were you doing?
Let's start with you. What were you doing?
So I was a cosmetologist for 10 years.
Okay.
I was actually a hairstylist. I specialized in color. What I was able to bring over that a little bit, I did a lot of marketing, a lot of social media marketing, and I was still responsible for creating my own client base and building my own brand and my own name doing that. So that's what I did before RKG.
So you've always been an entrepreneur. How about you, Robby?
I've always been in construction my whole life.
Right.
My dad built houses. My uncles were contractors. Swinging a hammer, working in the field is just something that I've always done, and it's always been a passion. I like working with my hands. Before this, I was in a little different construction at my previous job. I was in outdoor advertising. I did a lot of billboard construction, a lot of hanging off skyscrapers, hanging on these ads that you see in Dallas on the side of the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fun. I did that, but I was always gone. I was always traveling. I was home in DFW for maybe 2 months out of the year.
Wow.
And so,
So you're from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. So that's kind of why we decided to start RKG, so I wouldn't have to travel and I could be at home with my family every night.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question I was going to ask you. The Dallas-Fort Worth is so inundated with construction companies and roofing companies especially. The old adage is, if a little storm comes through here and 24 hours later, if you've got to pick up in a truck, you can be a roofing company. So
You can.
Yeah, absolutely. But you guys, what you're doing is really impressive. What made you decide to get into the roofing business?
You want me to go, or are you going?
You can go.
Well, like Robby said, we really didn't like our family being separated.
Okay.
We didn't like him having to be on the road, and he has a natural passion and talent for construction. So at the point in time, I was a successful hairstylist. I was doing well with what I was doing. And we really started initially with a pretty small vision of like, hey, let's just book a couple jobs a week, do the work ourselves, and he doesn't have to travel out of town. It keeps our family home.
Right.
We ended up going all in because that's who we are as people once we kind of got the ball rolling. But RKG initially started so our family could just be under the same roof at night.
Right. Tell me, I read something about you. Tell me the story about you being a hairstylist, and I'm looking at it from the entrepreneur standpoint. What's the story about you saving your tax return money? What's all that about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
To open my first salon.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a single mom from 18 to about 25, 26. So what I did is I just saved those tax returns that you get, those $4,000 or $5,000 tax returns, and I did that for a couple of years, and I just put that money back. So when I was 21 years old, I actually had between $20,000 and $25,000, probably. It's been some years now, but at the time, and I took that and invested that into my own salon. So I opened my first salon when I was 21, and that's where my entrepreneur journey really began.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell me your construction business now. What roles do you play? Because in my business, Abba Claims, Autumn, my wife, she plays a different role than I do, and
Yeah.
we've learned over the years, especially in the last few years, it's not really good to have somebody doing something they don't like.
Right.
Okay, I've been an insurance adjuster for 23 years, and there's a lot about that I really don't like. And we make a big effort to make sure people are doing what they're good at.
Right.
If we ask somebody to do something and they don't enjoy it, they're not going to be good for very long. They can fake it for a little bit, but then it starts showing up. So her side of the business is the admin stuff, and she loves the numbers and the accounting and all that. She's great with that. And then I do my part. I argue the files, and I do that type of thing. So I handle the outside stuff. What roles do you two bring, Robby? What do you bring? What part do you excel at in your business?
I would definitely say I handle the outside of the office, and then make sure production is where it needs to be. Make sure the guys run efficiently, overlooking, management on that side, helping our sales team in the field. Pretty much everything outside of the field. Even though you will catch me in the office, I don't like to be in the office. I like to be in the field. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I also do my own sales still. I love doing sales. I probably don't think I'll ever stop doing sales. I mean, it's just a huge passion of mine that I love doing, and
I'm the same way.
That's always going to be something that I do, and I'll let her explain everything she does.
What do you like? What do you do?
Well, I really jumped on board with RKG. We really just had the field going. And what we were doing is we were working as a subcontractor under other GCs. We initially started out as the labor part, which is different than a lot of roofing companies, because a lot of roofing companies start off as sales and then sub out their roofs, right? So we kind of switched that around, and we still do have in-house crews to this day, which we are proud of. But what I did is I saw another GC taking off that chunk of the profit, and then we were kind of left with those peanuts to get the job done and survive and all those things. So I jumped on board with the notion, knowing that I was really good at social media marketing, and that I was going to build a brand, and I was going to start bringing brand awareness to this, and we were going to start doing our own job. So now, even to this day, I'm over marketing, recruiting. I train our sales team in the office. I oversee office manager stuff, but my real passion, what I really like to do, is spread the name and the word of RKG, how we help people, what we do, what we bring to the table, and then to be able to teach my team to do the same.
Right. Well, let's do this. Let's play a little game. Let's talk about each other. In other words, you talk about her and you talk about him.
Okay.
What makes you guys great owners? What do you think? If we had one of your employees or some of your employees in the room here, what would they say about him?
They would say that he leads by example. He wakes up early every morning and he does whatever it takes to get the job done. He is a very motivated person. Once Robby makes his mind up that he's going to do something, he does it. And I think that he sets that tone throughout our culture, and that's what everybody likes to work for Robby, because they respect Robby.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's nice. What about Kimba?
Man, I would say she definitely drives the energy throughout the office and the team to make sure that culture and that vibe, flows with the brand that, that she stands so hard behind. We both do, but, again, she talked about branding. She did that. I had no part of that. I would just make sure the brand in the face of the world, I'd carry it around.
Gave me something to brand.
Yeah.
That's the quality.
I would it's kind of great because it was really made us a good team. Is she'll shake it up and think it, and toss it to me,
Right.
and then I can go out there and really implement it and put it in. So she's the thinker, I'm the doer, and it really makes for greatness.
Yeah, that makes sense. That happens a lot in my business as well. Tell me, you mentioned energy and the positive energy and stuff that you guys try to promote around your business. What do you do? What do you guys do in the mornings? What do you guys do to start off your day right? What do you do to get your mind in the right spot? Because I can tell you one thing. We use the word shit pot at our house a lot because if you start out the day bad, you're not going to have a very good day. I mean, you get up and you wake up in the morning and you start thinking about the daily grind and the things that you've got to do all day long, and it can snowball quick, and you
Make you feel like you woke up with a punch to the nose.
boy, it does. And so,
Yes.
how do you guys handle all that? What do you do?
I mean, first thing we do in the morning is we go to the gym. We try to be at the gym at 5:30. We got to leave the gym at 6:45 to make it to the house by 7 to get our little Rugrats off to school. That's first thing. That's the first thing that we do in the morning. I think when we don't do that is when we have our off days. That's what throws us off if we oversleep and don't make it to the gym.
That's kind of meditation for you, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That
That's
is
really
his. We actually got to that point where we were like too busy to go to the gym for a while, and we reprioritized that right back into our schedule because I quickly noticed, especially for Robby, that is his meditation. That's his version of it. That's how he gets himself right in the mornings. On top of that, I'm a big reader, and now that I don't have the time that I like to all the time to pull out a real book, I'm thankful for audio. I can kind of do that at the gym, in the car, whatever. But I definitely try to get in a couple books a month. And then, but one of my biggest things recently has just been to connect with other entrepreneurs. I run a group on Facebook of entrepreneurs now, and just to surround myself with like-minded people who understand the struggle, who know the ups and downs, to have a community where we're not judging each other for our ups and downs, but kind of navigating through that, using our experience to help somebody else navigate around that learning curve. And that's been really soul-soothing for me personally lately, is to have that community around me.
That made me think of something. I've got a mentor in my career, my good buddy George from Naples, Florida, and he's invaluable. I mean, someone that he's been willing to just open up the doors and pretty much provide to me anything that I needed over the years. Who do y'all look up to? Who's your mentors?
I think that over time that we've built up a few. We have really great relationships with our suppliers. There are other roofing company owners. Our supplier ABC just took us to Cabo. Where was it? Last week we were there?
last week of January.
The last week of January. So there was a trip of like 300 people. It was a huge trip, but they were all business owners, and just getting to spend that extra time having those conversations and stuff. But we recently hired a coach as well. So Smash, John Paramore and Katie Martin are our coaches that we've been working with since the beginning of January. So we're able to bounce a lot of things off of them now. So that's a good tool to have in our back corner.
Good. What about you, Robby? Who do you look up? Who would be who's your go-to guy if you?
My go-to guy if I need something. That would really be my mentor. It'd be one of my managers, Billy. If I have something in the field, that's the guy that I go to. Really toss some things off of. But along the way, I've looked at other people that I've actually become pretty good friends with that have successful roofing companies, and it's great that I can talk to them about. It's business. Obviously, we're still within the first 5 years, so growth has been crazy, and it's great to talk to these other people and know that they were in the exact spot that we were at the time that we are in the years that we're into it, and now they run. Some of them have anywhere from a $20 to a $90 million a year company. We were on the trip with this guy in Cabo, and he was like, you're
Year 4.
I was at 7 million. And then I forget what year he's on now, but he's like,
20.
he's year 20. He's like, and I just did 92 million. He's like, and the bad thing is I only got 20% profit margins on that.
We're like, that's okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if I'm talking like that at year 20, I'm in a good place. You know,
Yeah.
let's just keep on
Keep the
pushing.
growth
So,
trajectory
you know,
forward.
I would definitely just say, you know, the mentors definitely be the veterans in the industry that, you know, definitely made something of themselves. And like I said, have just been good friends. And, you know,
Yeah. Well, he said $90 million. You started doing the math right quick, right?
yeah,
That's pretty
I
good
already
stuff.
did. I'm like, I mean,
We're like
that's a good-
20% of 92
that's a
million is
good 18
okay.
18 million
Yeah.
at least that he just, you know,
Yeah, that's
profited.
okay. A year.
I think that's a good goal to have.
Well, on the opposite side of that, what are some of the mistakes? Well, let's do
Oh,
two
man.
things now since you've been on this trip and talking to a lot of people. What are some of the mistakes that you guys have made in your career, and what did you learn from them?
I mean, dude, definitely check work before you just, you know, go on to the next phase. You know, I've done some framing that the walls have been off, and I didn't notice till the drywall goes on, and I'm looking, I'm like, we got to tear all that drywall off and, you know, just redo that wall. And I you know, we do it all the time because that's, you know, the type of, we back our quality. So no matter what, if we mess it up, we're accountable, and we'll always fix it. That's, you know, been some of the mistakes, and, you know, some other mistakes are, you know, doing jobs while people are living in the home, while we're taking over the home. So
We were talking to your daughter about that.
we were talking.
Oh, yeah?
When we do a whole house renovation where we take somebody's kitchen, their bathrooms, we can no longer confine them to 3 bedrooms of the house where we take all their main space.
Yeah.
That's going to be, you know, a requirement again. You know, if we're doing your whole house, it's going to be a requirement that we ask the homeowner to move out, because it's a lot of stress on not only them, it puts more stress on the job, and it can really, you know, drag things out. I mean, we could go on forever with, you know, small mistakes, but, you know, they happen. But the good thing is throughout the way we have learned from our mistakes. We've been accountable. We've stood up to everything that, you know, we stand for, and that's really what matters, that we back the quality of our work.
All right, good. Tell me about the future. What do you guys want to? I know you want to build a great business. What do you guys want to be doing in 20 years? What are your goals? If money wasn't a factor, and you had all the choices in the world, what would you want to be doing?
I'd want to be surfing behind my boat.
There you go. That's cool.
Surfing behind his boat.
Well,
I think that our vision for 20 years is to open multiple different markets. We have a couple different states on our vision plan moving forward, to be able to build up leaders within our culture and our organization so that we can make that expansion in-house is important to me. That is if I can backtrack just a hair, one of the mistakes that I would say that I have made is in recruiting. It's hard to find people that want to sell roofs and get out. I mean, you're basically building a business within a business. So you have to find people that I call intrapreneurs. They want to build a business within my business and really carry that brand. And that's not an easy thing to find. So I was kind of hiring people a little too easy. You know, I was letting people in the club that didn't belong in the club. Now I call it the Shark Tank. Like, you can't have goldfish in the Shark Tank, right? You have to have people that are here and motivated and that have a like-minded vision. So now that's something I'm really focused on. I'm focused on picking the right people, recruiting the right people, and then pouring my soul into their success, because I know that their success will be our success, and I want to be able to replicate what we've built in Dallas-Fort Worth and take that and have other sales managers and people that we've built up within our company.
Just duplicate that
and
over
be able to
and over,
duplicate it. Yeah,
that's good. What about the culture? Because I know that's really important. These sales is totally different now than it used to be. Okay,
I'm sure.
Now it's all about helping people. Really,
Yes.
it's about helping people, and it's about
Yes.
giving free information. That's a big reason why we're doing this show. So the culture that you're talking about is finding people that think like you do, and that believe in, or at least can learn what your goals are and what you want to do with your life. It's not all about going out. We do a lot of pro bono work, and there's times you just have to help someone. So what do you talk and what are you looking for in someone? What type of culture are you really trying to grow?
Do you want to answer that? You want me to answer that?
I'll let you answer that since
Okay.
you do the recruiting.
I'm really looking for people that build genuine relationships. I believe, and I know that sounds so, genuine relationships, Kimba, whatever, okay. But it's a real art, and it's a real place that you have to bring your own heart to stop looking at people as a dollar sign or what commission amount you're going to make on this job, and start just solving their problems. Because we had, Robby ended up helping out a guy with his house. It wasn't a big job, it wasn't a big roof, we didn't make a lot of money on it. The referral we got off that guy was a different story, and so to be able to find people that can think like that and be able to mold themselves like that about, hey, I know that if I just get out there and we do really good work and we solve people's problems, because that's what we're doing in insurance. That's what you do. Right. That's exactly what you do. Right. So when we get in there and we solve people's problems, we're able to build real relationships that make business funner. It makes business more pleasurable, more interesting, and you're able to not wake up with that fist in your nose every morning because you're a little bit more passionate about what you're getting up and doing every day.
You're looking... I know it's similar. We're looking for people that are authentic and really, because if they're really after the chasing the dollar and they're not really wanting to help someone, that'll show up pretty quick.
Definitely, we definitely want to find people that just are quality human being. That does what they say. Does good. They live a quality life. They don't have that immaturity and stuff going on in their life. They have nothing but positivity.
And ethics.
Positivity.
They're ready to do something. They're at a place in their life where it's like, hey, I want to do something. I want to make a little bit of a difference. I want to make a splash in this world. And then it's like, hey, come join our team and let's do that together.
Right. Cool. Well, that's great. Hey, the time is passing by pretty quick. It's passing quicker than I thought it would. We're going to do a little segment here on this show where we've got a couple questions. Actually, people have submitted some questions.
Oh, cool.
For this. So as far as one that they've submitted for us, they want to ask, it says, will claiming hail damage to my home increase my insurance? I think they're talking about their premiums.
They are. Yeah.
And
Take it away, Robby.
Well, as far as we're concerned, from the claims standpoint, and I tell people call your agent, okay? Yeah. But storm damage claims will not increase your premiums.
That's correct. They raise the whole zip codes.
Exactly.
Correct?
They're going to do it on a regional basis, and people are worried about filing claims when you have a hailstorm or a tornado or something like that. Will absolutely not affect your premiums. But what does affect your premiums, if the little kid leaves the bathtub running and it overflows, or you're gone on a vacation and come back 3 days later and the supply line below the sink is flooded. Correct. Now you have a couple water claims in a year's time. You're going to get a nasty letter from your insurance company. They're going to tell you we're done. We're going to cancel your policy.
Careful.
So that's the answer to that. But call your agent to make sure you're going to get the lowdown from them.
I like to explain it to people like you weren't driving your house down the street and then you hit the hail. It just the hail hit you. So in that act of God occurrence or whatever, it does not raise your rate for your individual claim. Right. Like Robby was saying, what they will do is if you live in a storm-affected zip code, raise that whole zip code's premium.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly right. Now there's one for you guys. It says, we have someone that would like to speak with you about a kitchen renovation. How would they get in touch with you guys? Who they call? What's your website address?
So you can call 817-320-1217. That's going to ring your office. It's going to have a couple options on there. Just follow the option that fits you best. You can meet us at our website. The shorter version is www.rkgllc.net or rkgroofingandconstruction.com, which will lead you to the rest of our pages. And what's our Facebook is?
RKG Roofing Renovations and Restorations, but if you just type in facebook.com/RKG LLC, it'll pull us right on up. So,
just search for RKG. It makes it pretty simple these days.
Yes.
And that's the thing. If you look up RKG, if you just Google us, you'll find all of this stuff.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you guys being on the show. It's been fun. Thank you for coming. This is our first shot, so we're going to get better.
It was perfect. It was awesome. Great studio.
Thank you very much.
It's a great place.
Well, we all know that life is a series of ups and downs, and we're all learning how to navigate through that. We're all on the road to figure out who we are and who we're meant to be and what we're supposed to do to make this world a better place. I know one thing, that if you put God first and you put yourself first, you take good care of yourself, then everyone around you gets better. So if you haven't already, if you would, go to our YouTube page, channel, and subscribe, and also go to our Facebook page and follow our show. But until next time, hey, don't talk, just lead by example.